This video is going to be a no bullshit guide to quitting alcohol without willpower. It sounds like clickbait, but I promise you it's not. I found this method out about 9 months ago and haven't looked back since. We all know what it's like to have a hangover. You wake up in the morning, you just feel like death. You're unproductive. You have goals for the day, but it doesn't really happen. You just feel crippled. We're scared about the information about how alcohol damages our health. We kind of blind ourselves to it and justify oh, but it's fun and all of this, and it's a nightmare. When I was drinking, I'd feel like death when I had a hangover. I'd wake up in the morning. I'm a big pussy with drinking. I'd have one pint, I'd feel hungover. I'd binge PMO all day. I'd binge fucking watching bullshit shows all day. I'd just stay in bed and just feel depressed and weak and feeble, unable to do anything. But you're in this position where you want to be productive, but you just can't. It's just too much. It sucks. When I was trying to quit using the willpower method, which we'll get onto, I would go to the pub with my friends, and there'll be 3 of my mates. They're all having a pint. They're all having a good time. And I'd be sat there with a non-alcoholic beer or a water, and it would just be depressing. A time that I'm with my friends that's meant to be special turns into something that I'm now feeling misery because I can't partake in drinking. What the fuck is that? I'm meant to be having a good time with my friends, but hanging out with your mates is one of the best experiences a human being can have. And social gatherings with my friends turned from something that I would look forward to because I could have a drink and I would spend time with them to something where I now kind of have to firm and put up with and just kind of get through and resist drinking the whole time. It just ruins the whole thing because part of my brain is enjoying my time with my mates, but part of my brain is I want to go to the bar and get a beer, but I can't. And so I'm kind of having this internal battle while I'm sat there trying to enjoy myself. It's so shit. Luckily for me, I discovered a method, as I said 9 months ago, which means that you can quit drinking without any willpower. No BS. I've now had a 180-degree flip in my brain where I can go to the pub with my mates, I'll have my non-alcoholic beer, and instead of looking at them with envy and thinking, I wish I could have a beer right now, I'm looking at them with their drinks thinking, thank fuck I don't have to drink that poison anymore. And it's not meant to put them down. I just feel thank fuck I'm not in that position where I have to keep drinking. I feel really, really good, and I actually feel better for myself when I'm not drinking, and there's no temptation. I'm not having to battle temptation in my mind, and that's huge. A lot of people think that when you quit drinking, you'll always have to battle the temptation. You hear people like Russell Brand say that it's you always have this battle in your mind. I just don't believe that at all. It's just not what I've experienced in my personal life, and I think that if you go through the method I'm about to talk about, you're not going to have that experience either. Now, the method I'm going to talk about is actually really simple. So the bulk of this video is actually going to be me talking about how I went through the method, and then I'm just going to recommend it to you at the end. And I think this is really, really key because the hardest part about this, what I'm about to tell you, is not the method itself. The method's a piece of piss. The hardest part is actually convincing you to take the first step into trying it, because a lot of people, when I recommend this to them, they're so skeptical that they don't even take the first step. And guess what? If you don't take the first step, you're never actually going to solve the problem. So disclaimer, in the last 9 months, I've had one drink. And that was in the last month when me and my mates went to Poland. This is just pure transparency. We went to Poland and we were in this nightclub and my mates were like, oh, you've got to try Polish vodka. And I really didn't want to do it. You'd have to fucking pay me to do it. But we were in the club and I was feeling anxious because it was just a new environment. And in my head, I'm like, well, I should try the new Polish vodka. I'm here. It would be stupid not to. So I tried it. It tasted like shit. I woke up hungover the next day and I was like, I'm never doing that again. And still, I'm not re-hooked or anything. I'm just completely, I'm over booze. It's done. It's mental. So the method to quit booze is a book called Kick the Drink by Jason Vale. Kick the Drink by Jason Vale. You can look it up on Amazon. It's got great reviews. And I'm just going to talk about my experience with the method. So when I first read the book, I was in my university flat. And I set the day for myself. I'm just going to read this book all day. So I was sat in my university flat on the sofa with my Kindle. My Kindle's literally here. This is my Kindle. And I got the book and I just thought to myself, I'm going to have a nice day reading this book, because I knew that I'd already tried another similar version of the book for another addiction, internet pornography, that I had. And it worked like a fucking charm. That's called the easy peasy method. Anyway, this book, Kick the Drink, is a similar method to the easy peasy method to quit porn, but for alcohol. So I had an inkling that this is probably going to work. So I just sat down, had the day for myself, and I just started reading the book. What boggles my mind about this method is that it doesn't bully you or scare you with the negatives of alcohol. If you're a drinker, you know the negatives of alcohol firsthand, from firsthand experience. You've woken up hungover. You've felt like pain in your body and your mind. You felt the dehydration. You felt the anxiety. Like, we know the negatives of alcohol. We don't need a book to tell us negatives. We've experienced it first fucking hand. So the book doesn't actually tell you any of the negatives of alcohol to begin with. And that's really good because the negatives don't help you quit. This is something that I learned. Like, reading about all the scientific information is not going to fucking help. Instead, this book takes all of the positives about why we want to drink. For example, it helps us socialize, it's fun, helps us relax, helps us de-stress, it relieves boredom, an otherwise boring situation can become good because of alcohol. We have all of these reasons to drink, right? The book logically dismantles every single reason, all of the main reasons why we want to drink. And then by the end of the book, you're left there scratching your head like, okay, so why do I want to drink then? And at that point, you start to feel really fucking happy because you start to realise, shit, I don't need to drink anymore. This is great. Now, this is the amazing thing that happened to me. At the end of the book, you're actually told to drink some alcohol as kind of like your final drink ritual. Don't get scared by it. Trust me, don't get scared. So by the end, it tells you to drink alcohol. And this is the really funny part. All of my life, I've really loved like Budweiser beer, like the Budweiser bottles with the twisty caps. Don't know why. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I know people think it tastes like piss, but I just always loved the taste of this beer. It was a really classic taste. So I always had them in my fridge. I had like a few in my university fridge. And so it gets to the end of the book and it's like, okay, time to take your final drink. So I'm like, fuck. Like by the end, I don't really want to drink it. It's so weird. This was my favourite drink for years. And I take the bottle out. It's cold. It's a cold beer. And I look at it. I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to drink it. It's super weird. Like, this was my favourite beer. This was my favourite. I love this. And I'm looking at it like, I don't want to drink it. But even though I didn't want to drink this beer, the book did say, like, you need to fucking drink this final beer. So I was like, look, I followed the instructions of the book all the way up till now. I'm going to keep following it. It seems to have done well because, as I said, by this point, my desire to drink had, like, vanished. So I'm like, I very clearly knew, shit, this is working. So I thought, okay, this book has worked wonders for me so far. I'm going to keep following the instructions. I'm going to follow it to the end. I'm going to drink this final beer. So anyway, I twist off the cap. It's one of them twisty caps, nice and convenient. I throw the cap in the fucking recycling. I get the beer, and it's like the beer's like kind of like fizzing and stuff. And I smell it, and I'm like, this is rank. This is my favourite beer. But now I'm like, this is fucking rank. So anyway, I'm looking at it. It's not appealing at all. I take the first sip, and I'm like, I just swallow it like as soon as I can because I just hate the taste. You know when you're a kid and you have like medicine, like my parents had this like Indian medicine that we'd eat, like we'd have when we were ill. And with this medicine, you take it and you just like get it down you as soon as you can so that you don't have to taste it. That's exactly what happened with the Budweiser beer. Like I drank it. As soon as I tasted it, I was like, to try and just like fucking get it down. Like I did not like it. Let me stress this to you. This was my favourite beer for years. And the taste actually tasted like shit because I'd read something in a fucking book. Scribbles on a page, literally markings on a page, on a fucking this. I'd literally done this, got the book, read it like that, and it changed the taste of the beer. So I finished the beer, I literally chugged it, like I fucking just kept on drinking it and just kept on swallowing, like, just to fucking get it down me. I hated the taste of it. Then I just put the bottle in recycling and I didn't drink for 8 months. Boom. And then obviously I went to Poland, I had that vodka, and that was equally terrible, and now I'm still not drinking. I'm just never going to fucking drink again. The way that I can explain how this book changed the taste of the beer is kind of like with cigarettes, right? You smoke your first cigarette and it tastes awful. You cough. It just tastes like death. You're like, what the fuck is this? But if you keep on smoking, you're going to like kind of like learn to love the taste of smoke. And you know, smokers, they take cigarettes and they kind of like love it. And you're like, what the fuck? It's the same with beer. Like when we're younger, we take our first alcoholic drink. You know, you're at the pub. For me anyway, I was at the pub with my mates. Everyone's having beer. It's really manly. Like you think, like, oh, beer, like adults drink beer. Real men drink beer. All your mates are drinking beer. I was born in May, so I turned 18 a lot later than my mates. They'd all been drinking for like a few months in pubs. So I had my first drink and I was like, fuck, this really doesn't taste good. I'm sure you had the same experience, but all your mates are drinking beer. They're not complaining. All the adults love drinking beer. beer's manly, so you don't really speak out about how you don't really like the taste. You kind of just put up with it and sort of force yourself to drink it because you don't want to. If you say, "Oh, I don't like this. It tastes like shit," all of them are like, "What? Are you pussy?" Da 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 da. Maybe not as harshly. I have really nice friends, but you're scared of the social repercussions. But here's the fucked up thing: as you drink more and more beer, you learn to love the taste, and then like years later, you love the taste. So what I can say the book did really is that it made me go back to before I'd even drunk beer. The book made me go from years later when I was like loving beer to literally before I had my first one, and I looked at it like, what the fuck? And like I go into a pub and like the alcohol, and I'm like, oh yeah, not for me. No, thank you. Don't want it. So yeah, that's the explanation. That's how I quit alcohol. Haven't looked back since. When I go to nightclubs now, like I'm just sober and I love it. Like I love not drinking. I don't go to the bar and feel temptation. I don't. At the bar, I'll just get like a water or I'll get a non-alcoholic drink. At pubs, it's the same. Like I'm really happy that I don't have to drink. I can drive to the fucking pub. I can drive back from the pub. I can drive to nightclubs. I can drive back from nightclubs in my own fucking car. I don't wake up hungover. And most importantly, when I'm in pubs and clubs, I don't feel envious of other people. I don't feel like they're having better time than me. I feel like they're actually having a worse time than me because I'm more present. I'm more in the moment. I feel the environment a lot more. I'm not numbing myself out with alcohol. Like I'm really feeling the moment. I can remember the whole night. It's cheaper. That's a win. And I just have this sense of control. Like I don't feel like a mug, like I'm being controlled by the booze. I feel like I'm in control. And, it's not in an arrogant way. It's in like I'm actually loving this. And I'm so happy I don't have to drink. So read this book. Kick the Drink, Jason Vale. That's the name of the book. You could also read Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Alcohol. I haven't personally tried this book, but it's the same method. I know it's the exact same method as Jason Vale's Kick the Drink. Both of them, I'm sure, will work for you, but the one that I read personally was Jason Vale, Kick the Drink. I hope by listening to my story, if you've got to this part in the video, you think to yourself, fuck, what this guy's explained has been quite authentic and been quite real, and I can tell he's telling the truth. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read the book as well. I've got no affiliation to this fucking thing. He's like he's like a sick author. I'm a little YouTuber. What the fuck? Read the book. Trust me, you're going to fucking love it. And hopefully you go through the exact same experience that I have. What's there to lose? Like, if you don't quit by the end of it and you feel like, I want to continue drinking, what's the harm? But I'm sure that will not happen. Like, this shit is profound. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Leave a comment with any questions or get in touch with me on Telegram. It's in my about page on my YouTube. Yeah.